Hey, old double 1/8 Seth Shadow here. We are in Black Friday weekend, which is a major sales week for the states in the USA. And with the BCS still roaring, we have lots and lots of big movements happening across the board. Many are going up. We do have a few things that are still coming down, and we're going to cover a lot of that today. First thing is one that come as a really big surprise to me is Stardust Blade. The starter deck that we discussed last time suddenly just saw a massive buyout, and now the price has surged all the way up to $40. You take a look at the history of this. Since its release, well, these were all on pre-orders, and the actual release of the deck set was on the 18th of November. And since then, we've seen mostly $24 and even $32 listings that moved. And now, even more recently, we have seen $40 sales of this deck, which is intense. Listings are ranged from $40 to $45 right now. So I would say shop around a bit and see if you can pick this up, because I'm sure there will still be vendors selling this for closer to MSRP, which should be around $20, half this current price. If you can find that, on top of Black Friday deals, I'm pretty sure you'll get quite a bit. But remember, overall, the value for this is the combination of having the energy generator along with the new Regalis piece, Union Sky, as well as a random insert of an effect trigger, and I believe you even have the chance to get the original Elementaria Sanctitude in here. I've never actually seen that noted on the box, but someone did tell me that they pulled it, so just keep that in mind. There is a good amount of value in this deck set, but for $40, dang, that's intense. And Shadow Paladin tax strikes again for Knight of Severity Cleodhana. This is an older foil that we got some time back after set 5. And the card now has a base listing of $65 for its foil version, and only 4 listings on the market starting from there. Not sure how this card got so expensive, but suffice to say, it hasn't been selling well. $12.34 is the current market price, and we've seen no volume. We have seen no volume for about a month now, over a month actually. But back in August, we did see a single sale of this for $51, but ever since then, this foil has only been selling for around $10.50 to $12, and they range from $65 all the way to $110. I just don't really understand what happened here. Technically, this can work with Blaster Dark in Majesty Lord Blasters, since it is also Blaster support. Even so, I can't imagine this price being justified, and nobody bought it over the sale weekend, so hopefully there will be a decrease in price. Blitz sales still, while we're talking about sales. The new promo for the Blitz series has taken quite a tumble, especially over the Black Friday weekend. Now the regular promo is down all the way to $13, though it is at 8 listings, so it is a little short, and market price there is still around $20. The foil also took quite a tumble with 10 listings left, and $28 is the current base price there, with a market price of around $36. Ultimately, Welstra is not a very big contender, so now that we've gone through the 2-month cycle for this promo, it's finally just reached a lower point. But it is still a popular deck set, which is definitely why this thing hasn't dropped below $10 yet, and I'm not sure if it will, especially since we also have the prospect of getting the other Welstra at some point in the future, where this card will shine a whole lot more. There's a shortage on the newest Yumino Kesho promo, Poppy the Crit Trigger, where the lowest listing is currently $8, and there are only 3 listings on the market for this one. Volume has been pretty consistent at about 8 to 10 copies every period, and overall 85 copies have sold in the last 3 months, technically in the last month and a half. And right now you can pick these up for as low as $8, but they go all the way to $15. Now, with the number of Yumino Kesho Cups that did occur, there should be a lot more of these in circulation somewhere, so I would imagine just wait for a bunch more to hit the market at some point and see where it goes from there. It's just very interesting to see this one go so far up when there's also Yume no Kesho Rose, which has more listings overall, although this first one is a $2 damaged copy, and there is no way. Hold on a second. Yeah, apparently there is some kind of glitch going on between the data integration for volume. So we have seen sales this last month, but they have been pretty consistent with what we're seeing right now, even for the lowest. $3 to $5 for copies, and now they're currently selling for... There are a number of copies for $3 to $4 at this point, and there are a good amount of copies available. So Rose is actually pretty cheap in comparison to Poppy, but also has a lot more quantities on the market. We have more listings of Spiritual Body Condensation's original rare back on the market after talking about its buyout from some time back. The first listing is lightly played, though, at about $1 a piece, and market price is still 92 cents. But there are only 2 listings right now that are $1 or under. Both of them are listed as lightly played. After that, it's still a $4 card after that on these listings. And in terms of volume here, it claims there's nothing. Let's see. Nope. There is volume selling in the last few days for actually the whole of the last month. $2, $3, $5 on this card, even over this last weekend. So this card is moving and is a good Levidress play. So I imagine there'll be some more volume moving of it since we're getting to set 5 soon. Oriens, which is the order cycler for Dark States, is moving back up as we get closer and closer to set 5. 8 listings on the market with a base of $23 now. And market price is currently around 19, while the card is ranging from a low of 23 to 40. And volume has consistently been moving itself upward, while the market price has moved from its low of 11 back in October to its current price point. And so this card is definitely popular going into set 5. On the flip side, though, our biggest order cycler, Forefront Knight Teithfallt from Cater's Sanctuary, has seen a drop-off. The lowest listing right now is a lightly played copy at around $17, which is a huge drop. But even after that, on the near mint copies, we are underneath $30 for the first several few that are available, and then we go back up into the $30 and $40 range. But Teithfallt is losing popularity moving into the next phase of competitive play, as even though the Cater Pile strategy is powerful, it does have its drawbacks that are starting to show in how the format is moving. So less players are inclined to pick this up, and we now have over 17 listings that are on the market. With Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion's updates, we are seeing some more movement upward in pricing for this card, particularly on the triple rare. 10 listings are available for at least $6.70, so close to $7, up from the market price of over $4. The secret rare is the next thing of note, where there are 4 listings there starting at around $110, and the FFR still in line with its market price of around $40. There's also a big support card for Vermilion to keep in mind, Roughcur Hammer Dragon, which was a pretty big promo when it first came out, and it's still holding some significant value at $3 to $4 overall. And it has a reprint in Festival Booster 2024, not really giving it a lot of leeway or downtrends unless the blood just ends up falling flat once it starts seeing play. But the card is still in a pretty decent position if you're trying to build the blood right now. The announcement of the reprint for the Ride Stride fodders has really tanked a lot of the values for the triple rares, including the biggest one, Nocturizo, for Dark States. This one has dropped all the way off to $19 and has 16 listings on the market, with the market price seeing a downturn from 32 to 30 so far, and volume has been a bit scattered over the last month. We have actually started to see itself for 18, and a number of copies have just dropped underneath $30. So there are a lot of options in terms of picking this up now, and we aren't getting DivineZ 6 until February, so there is still time. But as for some cards that have really been getting skipped over for reprints, very questionably, the biggest one I'd say is Forbidal's Surrogate from Festival 2023. This Regalis piece sees play over Standard and Premium, and yet this card still has not seen any reprints. There are 20 listings on the market, which is actually kind of surprising, and the lowest listing, though, is still $60, and the market price, despite low volume over the last few months, the market price is still on an upward trend right now to about $57 higher. And all the listings on the lower end are still under $65, but just barely. This card mostly just centers around that price, and overall just has a lot of playability in general, so not seeing a reprint yet is very surprising. Another one to consider is the Regalis piece Evergreen Transfear. While this one also doesn't have a reprint, it is one of the cheaper Regalis pieces to pick up on the market. But even then, it's still a $20, it's basically a $20 card. 8 listings on the market too, so not that many, and volume has been somewhat consistent, with only 45 copies sold in the last 3 months overall, give or take, given the odd data transactions here. But yeah, this card is basically a $20 to $30 card right now, and as a Regalis piece, you still only play 1 copy of it. Levy Dress is obviously getting new support with DivineZ 5, so definitely watch out for the Grade 3 as well as any of its other support cards. Right now, the Triple Rare is about $11, and the Silver Rare, which is the next level up, is just over $18 with a market price of almost $19.50. If you want to pick up the DSR or the Secret Rare, both of them are over $200 to pick up right now. Valtrosa and Liel, which is the Brantgate Gator Sanctuary Dual Nation card, is really up in value now, up to a $50 price point, and that is also due to Rezael's influence with DivineZ 5 coming. Volume is picking back up, and the market price has seen a massive spike to almost $49. And this card is now available for a base of 50 and has sold for as high as 55 so far. And the front page has listings as high as 55. As we continue to get closer to set 5 in just 2 more weeks, I don't know if this card can get any higher, but Festival 2024 is continuously rising in price, so I would say this might top out. I don't even want to say top out, to be honest, but 60 is plausible. Dark Bond, Abyss Surga, and Dargage. There is a $15 listing on this one, but there is a $5 shipping tag attached to it, so you would have to buy some more cards. The volume on this card has been dropping off with the last few months, but the market price is overall higher to almost $20, and the lowest listings are still around $19, $20. So this one has been staying relatively steady ever since its initial hype. I mean, this card was heavily underestimated when it first came out and was the cheapest among all of the dual nations, spiking up eventually to become the second most expensive, with Chaotic, the Dragon Stoichio one, now being the cheapest. And yeah, this card still has potential value down the line. It is a dual nation, so never underestimate these. Servant Valcracia has some pretty good value across the board, for both being relatively inexpensive but still having some decent value. All the copies that are available are currently around $4 to $5 between all the promo variants and the reprint that comes in Festival 2024. Surprisingly, this does not have a high rarity. With all the different foils that are available, they're all basically double our rarity like with foiling. But it was actually a little surprising not to see a double frame rare of this in Festival 2024. Avarice Wrestler, also with Odium just, getting closer and closer, is now seeing very irregular motions for its different printings. The double rare is now the most expensive on its base price with a solid $25, and the highest market price of $20. between the silver rare and the FR. The silver rare has a higher base price of 25, but the FR has a higher market price of 14 versus 1050. So it is completely chaotic on just where this card is. Pay attention to which is which, because you're probably missing out on value if you just keep on picking up the low end. And we're going to blitz through some more cards from set 2, Divine set 2 here, because there are a lot of them to cover. Nilburis, with Resile really getting big, has no silver rares on the market now, and the triple rare has been bought out to the point of $40, while the FFR is currently $57. And I completely forgot, Drag Ritter Durkham works with Gondiva as well as Eugene. So another reason to keep an eye out for this one now that Gondiva is getting a mask form. Got around $5 for its triple rare, $10 for its silver rare, but a market price of $5 there. And the FFR is still just around 21. Baldere, which I mentioned had a drop-off in value, now has no silver rares on the market, while the triple rare is still sitting around 23 with a market price of 33. And then Loving Pink Fran's set has dropped off pretty significantly to the point where its silver rare now has a low listing of $28, but it's still under 10 listings, so I'd be careful. The market price is also around 27. The triple rare is still cheaper at 22, but the market price is higher than the silver rares right now, which is a bit dangerous. And our last card for today is the Energy Cycler for Stoicheia, Sea Rumble Brave Shooter. This one has a higher market price than it used to, but overall pricing is still relatively consistent. The market price is currently around $19, and we have seen a lot of sales of this card, around like 10 to 15 copies per every period. And most of the copies that are available are $16. After that, it just jumps up to 20 from there. So it is relatively affordable. I don't even know how I can say this anymore, given that anything that's $20 or under in a triple rare, it's hard to say that it's affordable, but at the same time, I can't really say it's that expensive either. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.